Hey, my name is Mariah, and I am here to talk about a time where God has truly come through. And honestly, it's hard to even pick something specific because God literally comes through for me every single day. But there is something that has been kind of going on over the last year, and I feel like this year God really just he took me to a new level. So I am currently a naturopathic medical student, and for those who don't know, just short little synopsis, it's a doctor, but instead of me focusing on prescription drugs and things like that, I focus more on like natural remedies. So things like herbs, supplements, like vitamins and, diet and lifestyle health, as opposed to just, prescribing a pill and sending a patient about their way. So I am currently in school for that, been in school for the last couple of years. And I've had a few setbacks. And so within these setbacks, I've always, tried my best to stay cool, but then there would be times where I would literally just be like, you know what, Lord, like if this is not for me, then just let me know. My education and I are in a very toxic relationship, but yeah. So this past year has been pretty rough for me because I did go through a rough patch and. During the halfway mark, so after the first 2 years, we are supposed to take boards. Long story short, I took boards twice and failed both times. And so this set me back to where, instead of me graduating like this December, I won't graduate until next December. So set me back a whole year. Well, in when I found out I didn't pass back in September of last year, it was to a point where they kicked me out. They said you didn't pass twice. You didn't pass already repeated class or whatever. Then you're gone. So I had to essentially fight for my life, do an appeal, and go through all of that. And God came through. Your girl got back in. But even aside from that, getting back in, there were really no more classes for me to take at that moment. I just had to wait until boards came again. And so I didn't really have any classes to take. And so with that, I wasn't going to be able to get financial aid. Mind you, in medical school, they try to tell you like you shouldn't work. So I hadn't gotten a job at the moment because I was like, I'm in school, I can't really afford to have a job right now. But obviously finances, had to pay my bills. So I've literally been depending on school money since I started. And so me not being able to take classes for that period meant that I was not going to be able to receive financial aid, which was a big deal for me, like I said, because I didn't have a job at the time and I didn't have any means of income. And I'm like, well, bills still have to get paid. Fast forward, I started applying for jobs and things like that because I really had no other choice. I had to just get to it. I ended up finding a job, and I said that if I was going to have a job, then I wanted it to be something more meaningful. And so I was like, okay, let me, figure this out. So I'm going through the motions, trying to figure out what type of job I'm going to get, if I'm going to be able to, do it, or just trying to figure everything out. And so I ended up getting a job, but it was part-time. And I'm like, I can't do part-time. Like, I really need a full-time job because, once again, bills won't pay themselves. So I ended up like logging on to my school site one day, and you'd have to have a certain amount of credits in order to be able to receive financial aid. And so I went to log on to look at a schedule that I thought didn't exist. And then I ended up seeing that our school was requiring us to do a clinical shift. So usually you don't start until after you pass boards. Well, they changed it to where we could start before, just to kind of get in the clinic and, not be like blindsided when after boards and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I got a clinic shift. Cool. Then it dawned on me that if I added like a selective or elective, however you want to say it, if I added at least one, I could have enough credits to get financial aid. So I'm like, okay, let's see. Well, long story short, God came through because they literally had just changed the policies. They just changed everything to where we were able to get into the clinic early. I was able to get enough credits to be able to receive financial aid. On top of that, I got a job, so I was able to work part-time at a very meaningful job. So working for, part-time, and was able to receive financial aid. I had already like saved up money just because I knew what was coming. And then even like fast forwarding to now, like now I have like two jobs. So I have multiple jobs. I was able to get financial aid, so I was able to pay all my bills. I ended up being ahead because I had put money aside. And like, you know, it was just one of those things where it was like, it was nothing but God. Oh, and I ended up passing boards the third time that I took it. I guess third time's a charm, but I finally passed boards, and now I'm in the clinic. I'm going back to school full time. And, you know, this was just one of those moments where like God really showed out. Like, I mean, I already knew he knew what he was doing, and I knew to trust him and stuff. But obviously, in that season, like it was very tough. But I just say that to say, like, trust God, put your faith in God, trust that He will make a way, literally out of no way, because that's just who He is. He is an awesome God. He's a mighty God, and He's just all that plus more. So yes, that is just one of my testimonies. I look forward to possibly sharing more. But yeah, that's me. Once again, my name is Mariah, and I hope that you guys got something out of this. Thank you.